All right, guys, we are working from bottom closed guard still. Today we're going to go over what's known as a scissor sweep. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the way it's traditionally taught, the way Mark and I were originally taught, and the way that we do it now and why. So the scissor sweep is called the scissor sweep because essentially we are moving our legs across to an opponent on the knees to try to move their weight over and knock them over. So Derek's going to be in my closed guard. He's going to be postured up for the sake of this drill and be like this. The original way that Mark and I were normally taught to do this was to load our opponent's weight on top of us to do it. So we would open our legs, come here for like a knee shield guard, usually get a 4-finger sleeve grip or a 4-finger collar grip, 4-finger sleeve grip, something along these lines. And then we'd come here and take the person over, which generally works well, except you have to be within a certain size difference of someone, you know, to do that. If I had a partner like Tyler that was obese, I would not be able to scissor sweep him in that situation. I'd pull him on my leg and it'd probably break, right? So the technique then becomes hard to use on bigger people. And when we talk about Jiu Jitsu concepts, there's no situation that I can think of where I want to pull someone bigger or stronger than me on top of me. That seems anti to everything that we do, right? So the way I learned the scissor sweep from my coach, Henry Akins, is very different than that. So it took me a long time to adapt because I spent so many years doing it a different way. And it's not to say that that way will never work, but also a good player is going to turn your leg down when you go to do that. So like if I try to do that to Derek, he's going to crush that guard into this, and now he's almost past my guard, right? That's not great for me. It's certainly still something you see hit, and even hit in high-level competitions. I'm not saying it never works. I'm just saying I don't love it. So here's what we're going to do. For the time being, we're not going to use our hands. I'm going to raise my hips and straighten my legs. That's going to allow me the ability to shrimp side to side, just like we worked with the back, right? So from here, I'm going to bring my right leg for this time across Derek's hip, and my left knee is going to come down here, always protecting my face, and I'm here. So you see, with the instep of my foot, my toes are active. I'm gripping his hip. See how I can kind of move him here back and forth? And then here, I want the back of my knee in line with the top of his knee. The most important part, though, and the thing that is more difficult to get used to doing, and you'll find yourself, you'll be good at it, you'll be drilling it good, and you'll go to do it and be like, I can't figure out why it wasn't working. You need your knee to be lower than your heel. So a little tip for that, if my shoulders are facing up, it's going to open my hip. So if I go down a little bit, get my top shoulder down a little bit, it'll make it so that that happens. Then from here, it's not actually a scissor. I'm engaging with my lower leg, so it's connected. And all I'm doing is pushing his hip back. And he's going to fall over. Do the other side. Protecting myself. Turning. I come across. I'm gripping here. This way, there's no ability for Derek to kick back and come around or do anything. We will be connected when we do this in its entirety. But I want to drill it like this because if I start yanking his arm and doing things to off-balance him, it's going to make it too easy for you to do, and you'll be able to get by with subpar technique. So you see how my knee's a little high here? I kind of roll over. This foot's just engaged. It's not scissored. Then all I'm doing is pushing this leg straight. Always with my hands up, protecting myself. I knock him over. I'm staying hooked here because obviously if we did this, I would try to come out on top. But for now, I want to isolate this movement. So one time at speed, look like that. Does anyone have any questions on the start of this technique? Again, we will be connected when we do it. I want you guys to get comfortable with this leg motion so that we can do it appropriately. If you've learned this previously from someone other than Mark or I, you probably were taught to load weight onto you. If you like it better that way, you're welcome to do it. But I think it's a technique that's not as effective. Any questions? Everybody's good? All right, let's partner up and drill it. All right, guys, we're gonna keep going now. Everybody looks pretty good. The only thing I saw is some of you guys are reverting to that knee up which just makes it harder to post. Jeremy made an excellent point, which I should have talked about, that essentially we're just tipping them over like we're tripping them, right? So some of you guys were doing this. Lift up your butt a little bit. Some of you guys are getting in like a half guard position. That's gonna make it harder. I wanna be here. All I'm really doing from here is blocking this here, and then I'm just pushing him over. That's it. Don't make it overcomplicated. There's not a bunch of stuff going on. It's like if you go down on all fours behind somebody like this, somebody walks up on the other side and pushes them and they fall. That's all we're doing. It's super simple. There's just a lot of little details, right? So Derek's down. I've gotten into the position. I'm here. I like to make sure that I'm touching here if possible, right? And then all I'm doing is extending. And when I extend, that's what trips him over my leg. I like to put a little bit of weight in this leg. I am, engaging it, but it's not like an actual scissor. That's it, right? So now let's talk about doing it, getting on top, all that happy stuff. So in the gi, we have the option to grab the collar. So we can come here and we can grab this here. I don't normally tend to do that. I tend to just grab the arm, but this is totally fine and gives you more control and will end you up further on top. So you guys can start it either way, but you at least need the arm, or a no-gi, you need to be grabbing the wrist, right? Because otherwise, if I do this and I have nothing blocking, it's not really gonna work if he has his arm there, right? I can always take it later, and sometimes I'll do that on an open guard and stuff, but I don't wanna go off on too many tangents. So grab the wrist and the collar, or just the wrist, either one's fine. We extend our legs, we raise our hips, we shrimp over, we're still protecting ourselves, right? So now as I do this, I'm gonna extend my body a little bit and I'm gonna pull him to aid. So as I do this, boom, all my weight is down in this heel. I'm gonna sprawl back and come up into the mounted position. A little bit harder to do slower. If I have to, I'll walk back on my legs. So what I mean by that is, let's say that I lost his arm in transit, boom. Both hands come to the mat. That way if he tries to push off or do anything, all my weight's getting pushed back, I come straight into mount. If I do it and grab the collar, he's gonna end up a lot closer to me, right? He's not gonna go all the way over there because this collar is gonna pull me. So if I were to come here, I can use that to ride him up, right? There's nothing wrong with it at all. There's nothing inefficient about it. It's just something, if you get in a habit where you can only do it that way, then you try to do it no-gi, it's not gonna be there. You also have to assess 2 grips before you start. I'll do this a lot from like a shin shield guard. So we're talking about here, and then I will come here, kind of messing around with somebody, do whatever, and then boom. It's a lot easier if he's up on one knee to get that leg lower. So if Derek just stands up to one knee here to demonstrate, yep, and just posture back, and I come here, look how easy that is to get that angle, right? And then if I just slowly do it, boom. So anytime somebody inside my closed guard, if I'm here and they go up to one knee, I'm instantly gonna come up with this scissor. You guys can drill it a little bit like that if you want. We did it the hardest way first. The next way is with a grip. That makes it easier. It's way easier if you do it when somebody stands up. I do an hour-long seminar on just the scissor sweep of all instruction, so we're condensing a fair amount of material into this, but the mechanics are all the same, and we started out with the hardest way to do it with you guys were all getting. Now we're going over the easier ways. So the things to remember, make sure that foot is active and that you're gripping that hip when you come over. We're sprawling down into that leg and then pushing ourselves back so that we maintain mount. If I just sweep him and don't do any of that, it's gonna create kind of a scramble and he's gonna be able to get out. Right, he can come up, do whatever. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna turn over, drop all my weight in, and come into the mounted position. Does anyone have any questions on this technique?
I have a question. When your leg is that leg that's against their abdomen, do you want it hooked more on the lower side or like rib cage, chest
For the foot?
For throwing him over. Yeah. Right there, yeah. So do you want it across his hip right there?
Yes, I want to feel his hip bone. I look to feel this hip bone, and if I, obviously here I've got the grip, boom, pull myself right up. Good question. Anybody else? So something wrong? Okay, let's run it.